Hello. What are we, like halfway through January, guys? We can do this. I just wanted to chat a bit about being off the old phone. I thought that I'd kind of started to reach a bit of a breaking point with my phone last year, like kind of in a vacuum, but I realised that it's actually a bit of a hot topic at the moment, and I think that's really interesting that a lot of people are feeling that way and are wanting to change their relationship to technology and their screen time, and especially their phones, and that's kind of happening collectively, which is crazy. Just to be completely transparent, I'm absolutely not a person that has no attachment to technology at all. Like, one thing about me, I love a video game. I like to watch YouTube. I enjoy watching reality TV with my partner. I'm literally making a video right now to post. So this is probably not for the brave few among us who are willing to venture out into the wild west of never looking upon a pixel ever again. I'm just someone who doesn't want to be scrolling on my phone. Like, I know it's not good for me. I don't enjoy being on social media like Instagram and Facebook. It actively makes me feel worse. However, technology is something that exists in this world that we can't ignore, and it can be a fantastic tool, but that is what it should be, a tool for us to use when we would like to use it. I don't want to be feeling like it controls me and my time. I should get to decide where it fits into my day and my life. For example, Google Maps. Like, you can best believe I will be using a GPS maps for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read a map. Like, I'm not going to do it. My average screen time on my phone before doing all these things was still pretty shocking, for me at least. Clearly I thought that I was a lot better about using my phone, but I think it was still around like 4 hours or something, or sometimes even more than that. But now it's mostly down to averaging an hour to an hour and a half, which is a lot of progress for me. I'd love to get it down to be actually half an hour or maximum 45 minutes every day, but maybe that's wishful thinking for now, I don't know. So here's just what I've been doing to get off this thing. Before I was even doing anything else, I set my phone to black and white. I know, we've heard it before. Literally everyone was saying this. I saw it suggested by so many people, and I was like, okay, rolling my eyes, like as if I'm gonna do that, as if that's literally gonna do anything, guys. I truly hate to report back and say that they were absolutely right. It does make your phone seem massively less interesting. It makes it 10 times less appealing to look at because nothing is giving you a visual slap across the face and asking you why you're hitting yourself. It also just feels like it's not hurting your eyes, honestly. It really, really helps to cut the urge to scroll through like photos or watch videos, because literally why would I do that? Like, it's not even a nice or intentional black and white, it's not like an old film or like a beautiful photo. Like, it just looks very boring and it looks slightly off, actually. I would really recommend this over literally anything else because it just makes everything else so much easier. This for me was like turning the difficulty level down. I know that some people are like, oh well, I'll just turn it back on. I really thought that I would be like that, and I felt pessimistic about it at first. But other than when I need to see the colour for a specific reason, then I actually don't turn it back on. Like, it's been black and white for 2 months now, and I really have no intention of turning the colour back on. I've also just been thinking about what I actually do use my phone for, and then I've been looking for an alternative to that, or a way to have a better balance with using that thing. For me, some of the reasons that I was using my phone were like planning stuff, so to make a note of tasks that I needed to do or to plan my day. Using the calendar to remind me of upcoming dates, birthdays, appointments, bookings, etc. Entertainment, so watching YouTube or playing phone games. Randomly opening social media to check something and then ending up scrolling on it. Or to reference my notes app, which I did actually use a lot. So in the entertainment and social media area, I do think that's where the real change has happened for me. Firstly, I've basically deleted social media from my phone. There's no social media that I can scroll on. I removed Instagram, I removed Substack, I removed Pinterest. That was all that I had left on my phone, really. But honestly, even as someone that wasn't that tied to those kinds of social media. I was actually really shocked at how much I was hesitant to get rid of my Instagram account specifically. It is true that there are people in my life that I mostly communicate with via like Instagram DMs, but it's not that much, honestly. I think it can be a nice place to share some memories or nice photos with people, but I had to kind of remind myself that I can literally still do that, just in other ways. And do I want absolutely everybody that follows me on Instagram to see everything I would necessarily want to share on there? Probably not, actually. But anyway, I left the account open and I will still check my messages on my laptop every now and then. But I just honestly feel no desire to go on there right now at all. Even when I check my messages, I don't scroll or watch stories or anything. Eventually, hopefully, I'd just like to make sure that everyone has my number and then delete my account, to be honest. But I've just been kind of putting that off. I do still use Pinterest occasionally on my laptop for mostly card making inspiration because I like to make birthday cards, and I got a pottery painting voucher for Christmas, so I was like looking up some ideas for that as well. But I'm only going on it if I have a specific reason to look for something. And I haven't opened Substack since I removed it from my phone, I can't lie. Not really sure why, just not feeling the desire to read anything on there right now. I'm more into reading my books at the moment and writing myself. I had seen people trying to argue that Substack is not a social media platform. I am sorry to say that those people are lying to themselves, but I do agree that it can be used a bit more in a way like YouTube. Like, YouTube is definitely a social media platform, but it does feel different because of the fact that it is generally more long form and people have had to put more time into making something before they put it out, which I feel like is similar to essays on Substack. However, on Substack, a lot of it is also literally just posting what is essentially a tweet. I would personally really struggle to argue that basically tweeting is not social media. So I am still using YouTube, obviously, like, hello, here we are, read the room, we're in it. I am limiting my use in the fact that I'm not watching on my phone. If I want to watch, then I have to watch it on the TV and pay full attention and just enjoy the video. I also like YouTube, obviously, because for me it's a way to make videos, which I do find really, really so fun. Like, it's always been such a fun hobby for me. I've always loved this website ever since I was a little tiny person. I actually started out posting Animal Crossing animations that I made using MS Paint and Windows Movie Maker when I was about 7 or 8, just for some life context for me there. Also, can we please have a moment of silence for Windows Movie Maker? She carried early YouTube on her back. I do love YouTube. She's always been my girl, okay? We have our moments, but I will be here. And the way that I'm using it now makes me enjoy it so much more instead of just using it passively and kind of taking it for granted in a way and not caring as much about what I'm watching. Now I'm much more intentional and it makes me more inclined to make stuff as well. Other phone entertainment I've cut down. I used to play a lot of phone games. Over the years I have had many phone game obsessions. Truly, I will just be there waiting until the next second available that I can play the game. And my most recent and hopefully final addiction was Hello Kitty, My Dream Store. Guys, I was playing it so much. So much. Too much. Hours a day. I limited myself to 1 hour for a little while, but I was still playing it to that maximum, and I would be doing other things on my phone, like whilst I waited for the energy to refresh so that I could carry on playing. It's actually embarrassing. I haven't opened the app now for probably like 2 months, if not longer, but I still can't bring myself to delete it. Like, the thought of losing all of my progress makes me genuinely feel sad, actually. Can any of the analog girlies think of a valid reason for me to continue playing Hello Kitty, My Dream Store? I would actually be so grateful to you because I can't think of one. There isn't one. It's literally a match and merge game. It's completely pointless. Maybe if it was on like an iPad or something, it would be a bit more valid. Maybe, yeah. I feel like the bigger the screen, the more valid it is as a gaming experience, right? I am absolutely still playing games. It does just have to be sitting and playing it on the console, and I have to just fucking play the game. Like, I was so bad for playing and like listening to a podcast or something at the same time. Like, no, none of that anymore. I am listening to the game soundtrack. I don't care if I'm mindlessly stat grinding on Fire Emblem. If I'm choosing to spend my time doing that, then I'm gonna have the full experience, okay? And again, I do enjoy it more if I do put my full attention onto it anyway. And I will also say that I get all my games and electronics and stuff secondhand. Like, I will get them at CEX. I absolutely, completely, j'adore a CEX. Like, if there is one in the area, I am going in just to mooch about. Most of the time I don't even buy anything. I just love to look around. I actually just think it is the best place ever. It makes me still have faith in this world a little bit, to be honest. So on a planning slash admin note, sorry, I feel like I got distracted by Hello Kitty, my dream store, for a while there. But I kind of naturally just broke the like daily planning usage for my phone because I started using what I suppose is a version of a bullet journal without even really trying to do that as a deliberate way to get off my phone. I am someone who really likes planning and stationery and writing and shit, but until September last year, I never really found a way that was working for me. Like, I would just use my phone or a digital to-do list because I just felt like it was easier, or I would get a planner and I would forget it at home, or it ended up being too much of a hassle to bring it round with me, or I didn't know how to balance it for my uni stuff and my personal life stuff, and I just wouldn't actually enjoy the process of using it. But now I'm not at uni, I don't have that problem, so I can just have this at home and I don't really need to take it anywhere. And I kind of just made this into a lovely ritual for myself and just something that I really enjoy. Like, every Sunday I will make myself a hot chocolate, I will put on some jazz, I will write out the page for the following week and make a note of any stuff that I might need to do, stuff that I'm trying to do every day. Sometimes I will decorate it a lot, sometimes I will just have it be very simple depending on how much I can be bothered to do that day. I think for about a month I've just been having a very simple layout, this pretty much the same one every single week. Because I love using this so much, I have been transferring the important notes that were on my phone that I was opening a lot, like present ideas, and I've just copied them out into my notebook. However, the only thing this notebook hasn't solved for me in the planning vein was that because I'm using it week to week, I was still using my phone for looking further into the future at the calendar, keeping track of birthdays, appointments that I had coming up later on in the year. And that was okay for a while, but I was really feeling that I wanted not to be using my phone for that. I got a 2026 pocket notebook. I got this off Vinted. People are always selling unwanted presents and stuff like so early in the year, so I was really lucky that this arrived just before New Year's. I wanted a very small one that I can just have in my bag at all times, so whenever I'm out and about and I need to arrange something, I've got it with me, just for size comparison. It is very small, and I filled it in with everyone's birthdays, events and appointments coming up, and any notes or tasks I'd written to myself. Like, for example, I made a note of when a particular film is coming out in the cinema that I then wanted to book and see, or the day that my library books are due back. Yeah, this is what it looks like. The week is on one side, and then there's a notes side on the other side of the page at the side of every week, which is perfect because if I'm out and about and I need to remember something or make a note of something, let's say I have a great present idea for someone, or I can pop it on here and action it later when I get home, and then I can add it to my presents list in my notebook instead of using my phone in that moment to make a note. Obviously, I have only started using it this month. We are still in January, but I'm loving it. So far, it's really working, and I'm really hoping that it's going to keep being successful for me. It was something that I did already, like religiously using a calendar. It's just that it was on my phone. So I've basically just provided a direct alternative to that. The only difference is that I'm writing it instead of typing it. It's not like I'm kind of introducing a new method or way of doing something. So that's why I feel like I'm going to be absolutely fine with this. I'm loving the novelty of writing everything down. The only thing that's not in here, I guess, is like a monthly view. So I do have a calendar as well in my room for that, like a month-to-month calendar. This is actually my first year having a big calendar like that, and I'm very, very excited by it. I feel like a grown-up because I feel like all the adults I've ever known in my family and my life have a big calendar like that, and every time I get to write something on it, it's just the best feeling ever. And it's really nice to have the months of the whole year easy to view, not on a screen. It is kind of sad that these things feel almost luxurious now, but I suppose being chronically online and very digitally inclined for many years has now made me able to appreciate these things even more. So I suppose I'm grateful for that. Just quickly, some other things that I've been doing. I carry a book with me everywhere in my bag so that if I have time where I'm waiting or I'm on public transport or something, I can always read my book instead of listening to something or going on my phone. I was using my phone a lot to check the time, so I just started wearing my watch, and I got a little tiny clock for my room. So yeah, that's just some of the things I've been doing, and maybe that's helpful, maybe it's not, who knows. I absolutely don't have this whole no phone thing like perfected. Life is difficult and going on phone is easy. I am sometimes tempted back, mostly by podcasts, which I'm trying really hard not to listen to so many podcasts because I just put them on for background music just to distract myself. I think we're actually mostly just pretty simple creatures and we want an easy life, and that's okay. Like, let's have compassion for ourselves because we're trying, and the more that we try to break these habits, the more we realise that we do feel better for doing it, and it will get easier and easier with time. But it does help, like, obviously, if you have reached a breaking point with my phone. Like, for me, honestly, phones just started to physically repulse me a couple years ago, to be honest. Like, even for a while that I was still using it, I had a lot of self-hatred for that. So I just wanted to make these changes because I'd been feeling this way for a while, and I'm glad that it is such a big trend at the moment because we should all be thinking more about like how and what we are consuming and what we're doing, because it's one of the true powers that we have in this world. I feel like how we spend our time, and honestly just like, yeah, trying to stick to my own values. Like, I don't want to live in a world where we all want to be on our phones and we don't want to talk to each other because we don't trust each other, or we don't like the world that we're living in and we don't want to engage with reality, because it is actually so shit sometimes, reality, like it really is. But I don't want that world. And can I change the world and make us all live in a phoneless utopia where we actually want to be in real life? No, but I can at least change a bit about what I'm doing, feel a bit more aligned with what I believe in. And yeah, if you start doing something that feels true to you and speaking about it, you know, that slowly kind of disseminates out to people that you know. But it is important as well to let go of some of this shame about using our phones, because it can lead us to judging other people for doing those things, and you know, this does take a lot of work sometimes to unlearn. Or people are in different stages of life where it's easier or harder to start tackling something like this. I don't want the point to be to feel like we're better than other people because we've decided to fight back against big tech. Like, no, that's not the point of this. Let's focus on the joy that we get, like the small magical inconveniences that not using your phone brings. You know, I'd like us to get along better actually and respect each other more, not alienate from each other more. The goal should be for us to connect better with each other and the world, not to pit the phone users and the non-phone users against each other. The better connected we are with each other and the world, we can build stronger communities and hopefully actually want to take care of the planet and each other. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy talk. Take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.